Hi, once again, welcome to Bits and Banter. Like we suggested, we are back and we are going to do this regularly. Cricket or no cricket, we'll still be on cricket. Today we have Arvind. Arvind, hi. How
Hi,
have
hi.
things been with you after we went off and
All well.
all
Good
good?
to be back.
Fantastic. So we thought that since we know the semi-final lineup, we thought we won't talk about that because Bala and I did talk about it a little bit. So we thought we'll talk about the rest of the tournament, as in like what happened in this T20 World Cup, which maybe stands out in many ways, at least to some of us cricket fanatics. In my case, for example, I feel that this World Cup was different simply because we didn't see this massive scores. We didn't see this big six hitting. I mean, if you remember IPL, by the time end of the IPL, we have 600, 700 sixes hit, and then like everybody is hitting sixes. Even Chahal hit sixes there. So that is not the case here. That was one element, and I found that unlike what we expected, the fast bowlers actually had a pretty good tournament. So things were different. So I just want to sort of catch up with Arvind and see how he saw things pan out in this time. So what was it for you, Arvind?
Yeah, true. The biggest standout was compared to the last World Cup, which was exactly a year back. Because in
Yeah,
the UAE, it was more or less win the toss, win the match. And
yeah,
if you notice, it's probably to do with the conditions there in the UAE where you have initial swinging conditions and it doesn't favor the team batting first. And as the game progresses, the dew sets in and the team chasing, irrespective of whatever the score is, they eventually chase it down. That's a change which we saw here in Australia. It need not be win the toss and win the match. Here the teams are choosing to bat first after winning the toss, but still it need not be the case. So that is one major change, a major thing which I saw. Like you said, then we did not see much of big hitting sixes. When Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid took over the Indian team, we saw a different template coming up, like going bang bang in the power play. But neither the Indian openers nor you see you can't blame the Indian openers alone. The other openers as well, they were not able to get quick starts. So the power play literally was not used to that sense where people try to score 6 overs 60 runs, 6 overs 55 runs. That also is something which we did not see in the major part of the tournament. So
yeah.
these are the two things which literally stands out. But of course, as the game progresses, it became easy for batting, and the teams were able to score. Like you saw today, even initially, the batters were not able to get the
Yeah.
bat on ball properly. But Sky took it to a different level, and we could see a 180 score.
Yeah,
So these are the
Sky,
two things.
yeah. Sky probably doesn't need a pitch. So the way he's going, he just waits, sees the ball, and then dispatches it. So I just saw Ravi Shastri asking him whether he does some specific body exercises because the sort of twists and turns his body seems to be taking.
Correct,
When
correct.
normal people
Yeah,
like you
he's
and me do
taking
it,
training from Ramdev Baba, I guess.
probably, yeah, for people like you and me, we'll probably have a few cringes in the back if we try some of those things. So yeah. So the other
Obviously,
thing I also wanted to ask you about is the bowling itself, because see, if you notice, the bowlers did play a role. I mean, obviously the Aussie grounds are biggest in the world. I think. I mean, in the cricketing world, Australian grounds probably have the biggest outfields. So we were expecting that the spinners would, I'm sorry, have a great time. Some of them did. I mean, we need to say some of them did. Hasaranga was one who actually had a great time. The New Zealand bowlers, spinners had a great time. The English, I mean, at least this guy didn't take a wicket till yesterday. What's his name, Rashid Khan, but he was
Rashid,
bowling. Yeah, he bowled very well.
very economical.
Yeah,
He was
he
very
was giving
economical
15,
yesterday.
16, 20 runs in 4 overs. So, but then the fast bowlers seem to have come to their own, right? I mean, the ball was swinging. I mean, you saw today also the ball was banana outswingers were
Swing.
happening here suddenly. so,
So
so that
I'm not able to get. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't understand that. I don't know whether they are using a new ball or whether they're using a different ball because the new ball is doing a lot. It's something very unusual. Never seen a new white ball doing so much in most of the games like this. So even if you take the India South Africa match, the amount of swing Bhuvi and Ashdeep were getting the first 3 overs, we were like, okay, at least we are expecting what happened in the Trivandrum T20 where the 4 wickets will
Yeah,
fall in the first in the power play. So
yeah, correct.
that is very surprise. That is very surprising apparently for me. Like you said, the fast bowlers are. I mean, uh, this World Cup has benefited the fast bowlers a lot. Another one thing which I see is that the spinners have not been effective. Is probably just because one point you stated the grounds are big. They just wanted to play out the spinners. Like most, Hasaranga was among the wickets, but batsmen were trying to play out him. Batsmen were trying to play out Rashid Khan and not give away wickets. Even Adil Rashid also yesterday, like you said, picked only one wicket. But if you see, he gave only 16 runs, which means that the batters just wanted to play the spinners out. Only on loose balls they were trying to hit. So that is what I felt in whatever matches I saw.
Yeah, that's true. And then the other thing also is that we didn't have too many. See, there was a time when T20, T20 template was perfectly suited for the leg spinners. I mean, leg spinners were everywhere. Every
Correct.
team, whether they had good batters, they would definitely have one leg spinner at least. I mean, in this
Hmm.
season, you didn't see leg spinners really coming to their own, whether it was Zampa, whether it was
Uh,
Ish Shodhi or Hasaranga also
yes.
only towards the latter part he started getting it. First few matches he went for plenty. So
Yeah.
I think my personal belief is that this was I think it was whoever actually went with that leg spinning theory, they forgot one fact that Australia at this time of the year is not very dry. As in
Yeah.
like I mean there is moisture in the
During
air.
summer.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
moisture in the air. It's only from now on, like which is why we play the test matches after November, right? The middle of November is when
Correct.
the Aussie
Correct.
test season starts, till end of January
Yes.
maybe, right? So that is what we have seen. So I think if India has actually done that as a strategy, hats off to that. But I don't believe they did. It just happened. So,
Hmm.
and not just India, all other teams also they actually went there and realized, oh damn, we didn't realize it will be this damp. So and that is the way I think it happened. But then yeah, that is one thing which I felt,
Very valid point. Yeah.
right?
Very valid point. Yeah.
Yeah. So they but then I like the fact that the fast bowlers coming in and sort of really turning it on, uh, they were making a difference. Whether it is
They were
Mark
making it.
Wood or even Hazelwood actually hits 145, 148 these days after the CSK thing.
Yeah.
So I was actually asking somebody, I said, CSK has a good role to play, man, in this World Cup. I mean, you see quite a lot of CSK guys coming and doing well, including Mitchell Santner, right? Who
Correct.
never did well for his own team.
Team, yeah.
So,
Yeah, we always rated him a very average player, but yeah, he was doing pretty well.
yeah.
in this one.
So he's not
Harris Ruff,
yeah,
Harris Ruff was also another brilliant bowler. So everybody, even in India, also even Shami. I mean, probably Shami is the fastest bowler in India. I mean, among the lot. So he was also hitting the deck quite well. Probably today he did not get much of a chance, but generally he was hitting the deck quite well.
yeah, India,
Everybody, even
yeah,
it was
true.
Cummins and Stark, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Stark in the last match, but Cummins was not to the fore. He probably might not be a great T20 bowler, but
I,
apart from that, I think
yeah,
every fast bowler this World Cup really benefited.
I think Cummins, I think it said something about the Aussie mindset because see, you on the other end you have a left arm fast bowler who swings
Hmm.
the ball at 150. The ball is swinging all over the place for everybody, but he was still not opening the bowling for Australia, which was a bit weird. I
Yeah,
mean, I found that a bit weird because, and then they are nowhere to be seen. See, okay, we
hmm.
say that they were in a tougher group and all of that jazz can happen, but then even in the India group, we had Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and sorry, Pakistan, South Africa, and India. No, they
South
are three
Africa.
contenders.
Hmm.
Contenders, technically speaking, they are contenders, just like those three there. So to say that
Correct.
that team was stronger, or I don't think that is very fair because,
No, no.
right? Uh,
It's all on that day what happens. Correct.
yeah, correct. And in the T20 game, that is what happened. The Aussies seem to be a little off color, to be honest, because see, they brought Cameron Green here to India. They played him, but they didn't give him great game time, right? What
Yeah,
was that?
true.
Where did that come from? I didn't get
So
it.
I believe no, I don't know. I think that I just hope that message was conveyed to Cameroon that you're going to play the 3 matches or 5 matches before the World Cup, but you are not going to be in the playing 11. I just hope that message was given to him.
So
But anyway, now it looks like Australia's strategy and all failed because they did not qualify. Yes, the first match the New Zealand took them by surprise, really. So, if you really want to speak about upsets, actually, for me, the World Cup, the Super 12 actually started off
First match.
with an upset because in Australia beating New Zealand, and New Zealand, I honestly didn't feel them to be an extraordinary side compared to, generally what we see. So Finn Allen and Conway literally took them by storm, like how Shaheen Afridi disrupted India's confidence in the last T20 World Cup. These two guys, they shattered Australia's confidence, and they were not able to bounce back in spite of having three victories after that game. So I guess what do you say? It looks like a very strategical failure for Australia, but I just hope that whatever changes they did prior to the World Cup and coming into the World Cup, I hope it was conveyed to those players properly, especially Cameron Green.
So I
Another
feel
surprise pick was Tim David, but I don't know. He did not look to click as much as we expected him to.
yeah. So that is the point, right? I mean, it was a bit. I mean, I didn't get their strategy. So I mean, we are talking about Australia in detail because they are the holders even today. Till yeah, they hold the trophy, right? So
The defending champions, correct.
yeah, so they are the defending champion. They're out of it now, but then so till India gets it, I think it's still Australia's, right? Till or no, whoever gets it. I'm hoping India gets it, but then yeah. So my point is that see, I mean, Aaron Finch has not been in form. So you have a problem with David Warner being the captain of your team for some weird reasons. Then you have Mitch Marsh. I mean, here is this guy who is supposed to be delivering, but where is he? He does off and on. It's not as if he does regularly. And then he comes and bowls. He says, oh, he's the guy who's going to bowl us those 3 overs in the middle. He doesn't bowl. He bowls, I think he bowled once or twice. So it was almost like they were saying something and they were doing something else. So which didn't make sense to me. That is where I found Australia to be little off the balance all through the game. I mean, all games. They didn't look convincing. I mean, come to think of it, pretty much all teams didn't look convincing. I mean, New Zealand, like you said, they came in and they started looking convincing for some weird reason till they lost to England. Right? Till then, they were looking very convincing in every match.
They looked very convincing. Yes.
Yeah. So I feel sad about Afghanistan because those guys they probably they ran England very close. They had their moments in the games, but then the rains came. They couldn't just really sort of get it across. And Sri Lanka on that particular day, they just took them up. So which was a bit weird, I guess. So I will see some of these games, like you said, no, I mean, I'm just dwelling on that upset part of it. I mean, there were a lot of upsets. Think about it. I mean, one being today morning itself, which I really can't put my finger on as to what happened. So the joke is that, Bala and I were talking, the joke is that, see, Temba Bavuma was one captain who probably wouldn't have been in the team had he not been captain. Aaron Finch also was in the same boat, almost, right? So Pakistan has the problem because Babar Azam is also not scoring runs. So somewhere Rohit Sharma also he has scored 150, but that is against one Chota side, right? We don't really. Yeah. So everyone seems to be having in. In that this thing. Although Williamson did score some runs off the lot, Butler seems to be the only one who's actually getting runs pretty regularly amongst all the captains, right?
But again, he was not very. He struggled a bit.
He struggled or he has changed. He realizes that I can't hit through the line like I do in Jaipur. So I don't know. So yeah, in Jaipur, our man is used to Jaipur, no. So so I mean that is where I feel there is a difference. But otherwise, I mean, is there anything else that comes to mind? I mean, which stood out for you in this entire all these matches? I mean, now that we are done and dusted.
So a couple of matches. One which I would like to highlight and was the Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. It happened in Perth. And Sikandar Raza actually changed the game. The pitch which they were playing, it was a bouncy pitch, and Pakistan players were not able to play Sikandar Raza. It was, and at the same time, that pace bowlers as well. So that is that was a brilliant match. I'll never say that Zimbabwe won it out of luck. They won it they won it fair and square. They literally outplayed Pakistan till the very last ball. Yes, Pakistan did succumb under pressure even in the last ball, but that is one thing I would like to highlight. That is a match I'll never forget till the end of this tournament, because I literally saw how Zimbabwe toiled through the entire second innings, and they believed in themselves till the very last ball that they can uh, pull it off. That is one match. Then apparently, of course, today's South Africa versus Netherlands. I don't know, like you said, only South Africa can lose it in such kind of a situation.
Yeah, I'll add the England Ireland match also, because yeah, so there also we had the same scenario. I really didn't know what happened. It just see, I sort of, I mean, I'm glad that you brought up that point, because there is this thing going around which says, oh, Zimbabwe was lucky. I don't think so. I agree with you there. I don't think they were lucky. They had a strategy. Yes, Pakistan countered it and were almost sort of winning it, but they still didn't, because of these guys. I mean, they probably, I mean, they deserve to win that match, is the way I'll say, because the entire thing, they actually went very well. I mean, when they came out to bowl, they had a plan. They had a very clear plan as to what is to be done. And Pakistan, unfortunately, they bowled very well, if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They bowled well. I mean, they restricted the numbers to next to nothing.
130.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a run a ball and 10 runs. I mean, it's hardly anything in T20 cricket. Even you and I can probably give it a shot, for all you know.
Yes.
But the point is, these guys, they stuck to that plan. I mean, they seem to sort of know exactly what to do with each Pakistani batter. That is what surprised me. And it was just the case of one guy sticking around and playing through, and Pakistan would have won. You know, which is why Pakistan is Pakistan, right? And South Africa is South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. Anyway, they'll have to thank Netherlands. Pakistan has to thank Netherlands in spite of losing that game to Zimbabwe. They have to go and thank Netherlands for ensuring they are in the semifinals and in contention to even win the cup. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Pakistan is lucky.
Yeah. So I was telling Bala that I mean, our great Shoaib Akhtar actually wanted a rematch of that match, and said, okay, it won't be a revenge match, because Shoaib Akhtar is, I think, probably has more fans in India than Pakistan. So he'll never use such words. So he said that I mean, there should be a rematch. And मुझे लगता है कि एक और match होना चाहिए. That's what I heard him say on some TV channel. So I don't know. Let us see whether his wish is granted, or whether one or the other of them drop out. So I mean, I'm reminded of 1987, the 1987 World Cup, when there was a semi-final clash. The only difference was that instead of New Zealand, it was Australia which held that position, and England was there. And so when Pakistan lost, Indians were very happy, and next day India lost, and then we were back to square one. And Australia, that was the re-emergence of Australia, as it were.
Australia.
Yeah. So that is history for you. 87 is when it happened, but that was a 50-over World Cup. The first time it was a 50-over World Cup, by the way. So till then it was 60 overs. 60 overs, yeah. Correct. So, I mean, for me, there was one more thing here. One more interesting factor which I sort of observed in this entire series was the importance of over 7 to 15. Right. I mean, see, the teams which were actually not winning, I won't say winning, I mean, they were consistent through these 7 to 15 overs, were usually winning the games. I mean, again, if you think of the T20 template that we talk about, it's power play, 7 to 15 consolidate, and then
death overs, yeah.
Death overs, right? Here, what was happening is power play was taken out of the picture, death overs off and on. So everything focused on the 7 to 15. So for me, I mean, somehow the 7 to 15 suddenly became very important, and fellows who figured that out managed to get it. So now in Indian side, think about it: Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav. These are the two guys who have actually batted through, right?
True, very true.
Yeah. So that is where I mean, it has not happened with other teams. Think about it. I mean, even when the score is low, they just go. They try to play that hell for leather power play. They don't succeed, and then they probably get flustered, and then they do all of these stupid things and end up with 130.
That's what happened. That's what happened to even Zimbabwe in that Pakistan match. Though yeah, eventually Zimbabwe won, but they lost 4 wickets for 0 runs. So it's very
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah. So that is
Very
something which is,
disheartening.
yeah, that is something which will be memory for me, that T20 can have different templates. It all needn't be what it has always been. I heard Ravi Shastri say that, I mean, players who have good technique, they will survive even any format. They don't need to sort of worry about their
Format of the game.
format of the game. They will survive any format. I think that is being proved right. So which basically brings me back to
Very
the
true.
Tim David thing, where you said, I mean, you really don't know where he goes. So I mean, I personally feel that, I mean, anyway, on that, this thing, I mean, anything else, anything specific that comes to mind? I mean, I'm
No,
done sort of.
I think what you said was absolutely correct. Like 7-15 has played a part here. Pace bowlers have been the key. The spinners were not effective. But at the same time, how the openers did not click. And
Yeah.
I mean, we being Indians, we tend to blame Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, but I'm not trying to defend them. But at the same time, if you try to compare it with other opening batsmen of other teams, they were also not able to kickstart. I mean,
The
to do
innings,
how
yeah,
they wanted. So
yeah. We didn't have too many big partnerships. If you think about it, we didn't have too many early. I mean, over 1 to 6 great partnerships weren't there.
except for that first game, except for the
Yes,
first game in the sense, except for that Australia New Zealand. Apart
Australia
from
New
that,
Zealand game.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
correct.
Don't
So,
remember at all.
so anyway, it was a great time I think we had. Now we have the IPL auctions coming around, and then we have
Coming up
the,
in after
yeah.
this.
So and I somehow feel that, I mean, based on how India goes in this, I mean, this is not prediction. Somewhere I feel that based on how India goes over the next 2 matches, uh, uh, there might be a scenario where for the next T20 World Cup, we might see some personnel drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that happening. I mean, I sense that to be happening because again, there are certain
Yes,
reasons
same
for,
here. Sense that to be.
yeah, there are certain reasons why some players are still part of the game. So that those reasons might be fulfilled. If they are fulfilled, then there might be a complete rethink, is the way I see it. So next
Yeah,
T20,
correct.
some of these players might not be there. I at least see 3, 4 players not being there, but that
Easily.
is
Three,
probably
four
for
players
some other,
easily.
easily. No, I'm not even talking about the guys who are peripheral. I'm talking about the key players that, I mean, today we have in Team India. They might not come back
Future.
to play,
Because
yeah, to
there are
play in
there are two
T20.
more years actually.
Yeah, so for
2 years.
2 years, they might think, yeah, it is. I mean, this is like Tendulkar, Dravid, and all. They dropped out of the 2007 T20, remember, World
2007
Cup.
World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, so I see a repeat of that happening now. But then let's see. Let's wait and see.
Let's see.
Yeah. Chalo, nice having this chat, Arvind, and then we'll keep going. We'll. So what we are also doing is we are also talking about movies these days. So if you are interested, most welcome.
Sure, sure.
So thanks a lot.
Definitely.
Have a good
Thanks a lot.
weekend, guys, and have stay safe and have a great time. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye bye. Enjoy.